who is this video for? If your demand gen results are getting worse despite following the best practices, if you're considering doing B2B brand marketing, but you're not sure how to get your executive team on board with the idea, if you know you need brand marketing, but you're not sure how to align it with your performance marketing efforts, this playbook is going to help you. Of course, any playbook needs to be adapted to your brand or your category. This is the playbook to become the B2B brand remembered as the obvious solution when B2B buyers become ready to buy it. All right, here we go. How to be the brand remembered as the solution when B2B buyers become ready to buy. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be going over the goal of your brand campaign, how brand and performance align, the timeline that you should be using, who to target, where to target them, what that content message should be, how to retarget them, what should the ad frequency be, the ad spend budget, and of course, metrics to track to make sure that you're truly becoming the brand remembered as the obvious solution by the 95%, as well as tracking those short-term KPIs. So 95% of B2B buyers are not ready to buy for whatever reason. They're not problem aware, or they don't perceive it to be urgent enough to solve. They don't have the budget. They're not in the position to buy the solution. For whatever reason, most buyers are future buyers. And 80% of B2B buyers have a list of vendors in mind before they do any research in the buying journey. Of that 80%, 90% will choose a vendor from that day one list, which means if buyers don't know your brand and the problem it solves before they're in market, your chances of being selected are very low. So our goal with this campaign is brand recall for the problem that you solve to be at the top of that list of solutions when they become ready to solve the problem. Because the best search engine for a solution is in the memory of the buyer. For in-market customers, be rational. That is most performance marketing, which you're already doing. But for brand marketing, it needs to be emotional because you want to be remembered by the out-of-markets when they become ready to buy. Performance marketing works better when you do brand marketing. The B2B Institute did a little case study with SaaSvia, 28% lower cost per lead and 3 times increase in lead form completion. So although the goal of this is to be remembered as the obvious solution for the long term, there's also short-term benefits of doing this. So this is the timeline. There's basically 3 phases. And after each phase, we refresh the Problemotional creative, which is the video creative that we use in this kind of campaign. In phase 1, in the buyer's mind, it is problem identification and initial awareness of your brand. And then we swap out the Problemotional creative after they've seen it several times, deepening engagement and their understanding for the problem that they associate with you as the solution. And then phase 3, building that long-term memory and brand association so that they never forget your brand as the obvious solution to that problem. And after that 6-month period, we'll do a brand recall study, check brand search, and along this whole timeline, we should be doing measurement of engagement and the effectiveness of your performance marketing campaigns. This one's pretty brief. Audience and channel. If you don't have a huge brand budget, stick with one ICP. Otherwise, you are just boiling the ocean. And then the channel depends on your ICP and budget. So I won't get into this. So the content that should be used in this campaign is Problemotional video creative, where the message is primarily about the root problem that buyers have that your brand solves, and emotionally communicating that message, highlighting the pains caused by the problem, usually with humor and relatable truths, ending the message with a clear solution to the root problem to show the outcome that will be produced as a result. We call this the peso formula. So where do we direct them? The goal is to be remembered. This is not performance marketing, it's not direct response, but we can direct them to where one will build a stronger memory in association to the problem or the solution, and make it easy to retarget the 5% with performance marketing. So we'll retarget the most engaged with the performance ads. Those that have watched a certain percentage of the video, visited the website, interacted with the ad, liking it, sharing it. These are more likely to be the 5% that are in market. It's not guaranteed, but it's more likely because they've related with the problem a little bit more. What should the ad frequency be? Now, there's a lot of misconceptions with this. Once is enough, but for a short time period. It's better to reach 10 people once than 5 twice, because it takes the prospect from not knowing to knowing your brand and which problem you solve. That's because there's very quickly diminishing returns of ad exposure, again, in the short time period. But because your ads are being shown randomly, the average ad frequency needs to be high in order to make each person in the ad group see the ad at least once. Now, I won't go through this formula here. That's a little bit boring. But if your ad group is 10,000, the average ad frequency needs to be at least 10 to be seen by everyone at least once. Remember, this is average. So some people may have seen it 40 times, while some may have only seen it once. And this is something we don't have control over. This is just how the ad platforms work. Consuming the ad once is enough until it's forgotten. And 50% of viewers will forget the brand after 2 to 3 months. This is why the ad should be consumed, not just seen, consumed at least several times over the 2-month period. And luckily for us, each time that they see it, spaced out over time, not just in one day, but spaced out, it creates a stronger long-term memory. Each time they see it, that memory and association with the problem becomes stronger. So for the ad spend budget, this is going to depend on the channel that you use. That's because the cost per 1,000 impressions changes. The ad group size, again, the higher the ad group size, the higher the average frequency needed to reach every single person in that group. And then, of course, the effectiveness of ad creative, the messaging and the memorability. The more they forget it, the higher the frequency that you're going to need. So that's why having good ad creative can actually save you money. Here's a little example to put all that together. So to be seen at least one time over 2 months for a group of 10,000 people, you need 100,000 impressions because the average ad frequency you need is 10. The budget then would be $2,000 over the 2-month period if the cost per 1,000 impressions is $20. And because we want them to be seeing it several times over that 2-month period, again, we can't guarantee this because it's just how platform works. We'll aim for about 12,000 impressions per week to spread out over that 2-month period. And of course, to make sure that this is all working, after that 6-month period, we will do a brand recall survey and check the branded search, see if more people are searching for your brand. And in the short run, to make sure that the brand marketing is helping your performance marketing, we're going to be measuring the engagement and the cost per lead or sign up, registration, whatever kind of lead magnet you're using in your performance marketing campaign. This was a super quick and general overview of the playbook. If you want more details, I'm happy to discuss it. Thanks for watching, guys.